Sal Jade, and welcome in Tarot Mastery for this free tarot seminar. I'm going to be exploring a huge multiple plethora of subjects today about the tarot. I did miss last month's seminar because I was very busy putting together the How to Give Career Readings and Life Purpose Readings course, so I didn't have a chance to do this in here. But what I want to do now is go through and give you some extra content and some extra tips about how you can improve your tarot readings. Hello Amber Jane, how are you, my love? So if you are joining me here live, then just pop your name into the chat box. Let me know where you're from. Just give me a little quick hello, and I always love knowing who's with me. We've got a beautiful little program on today for this free seminar. If you aren't watching this live, just put hashtag replay, because if you ask me a question and it's beyond this 24-hour period, then it might take me about a week to answer it, because I am going on leave tomorrow for the Christmas break. So I will be away for 5 or 6 days. So just keep that in mind. You're so happy with this live. Happy winter solstice and conjunction. I know. I actually did it purely by accident, and I didn't realize it was the great Aquarius solstice conjunction today. And thank you for reminding me of the word conjunction, because I just did a Facebook Live in the Psychic Healing Hub. That's my group, my free Facebook group that is for healers and psychics that are professionals, and I couldn't remember that word, and it was driving me crazy. I just knew that there was a big event and I forgot the word conjunction. So yes, I will talk a little bit about the conjunction at the end, and I'm going to talk a little bit about also how you can manifest the 2021 that you want as well. So just as I said, pop your name in the chat box. I'm going to get started. So today we're going to cover the following topics. We're going to look at what tarot cards can read, like what you can ask as a question, and what the tarot really can't answer. So sometimes we get these ideas that the tarot can answer everything, and it can't. So I just want to dig into that for you, especially for those of you who are beginners, or you haven't done any of my intermediate subject courses, so you're not as aware, you're very new to tarot. So I just want to explore for you some of the limitations that the tarot has, and some extra tips about how you can shift and change that. I'm also going to be looking at questions around, I've noticed them a lot popping up in this group, like questions around arranged marriages versus love matches and how to determine that. Also looking at different religious and caste in marriages and relationship readings in general. I'm going to be talking about how you can improve your reviews on your Facebook business page. So there's been questions over the years over this, and I just want to go in and look at how this group can help you, but also what you have to be careful for, and that's based on some of the experiences that have happened this year in this group and in How to Be Psychic, my other group, where people are, they're probably not understanding the spirit of giving a reading in exchange for a review. Also with feedback and exchanges, how to protect yourself and make sure that when you are giving it, that you are getting one in return. I'm also going to be talking about my new careers and life purpose reading course, and this year in COVID, and just some extra little tips about next year and what's happened with COVID. And I'm going to be mentioning very briefly about my vacation hours, just so you know how to reach out to me. Hello Tatiana, hello Linda. And what did I say? Sorry. Can we ask Q&A questions? Absolutely. If you could save them till I finish the seminar, that would be great. So just jot them down as you go, just so that I don't get, because what happens is I start answering your question and I go on this random tangent, and then I'll forget what I was meant to cover. People come back to me and say, I thought you were going to cover this. And I'm like, oh, sorry. Hello, Margaret. You made it. I know you always say, in case life gets in the way. Welcome. Tracy, hello, my love. Thank you so much for your beautiful review, Tracy, on the Careers and Life Purpose Readings course. I really appreciate it. I know people take that beautiful time to put a little 5-star or a star, and I love that. But when you take the time to comment, it makes such a difference, because it means that other students that see it, they think, yes, this is exactly what I'm looking for. So thank you so much, Tracy. Tuning in from Florida. What temperature is it in Florida right now? I bet it's not as sticky and hot as Australia. I have all my windows closed because there's noisy traffic outside, and you probably see I'm sweating already. It's really hot. Tatiana, you love your course, almost halfway done. Thank you. Oh, thank you, Amber. You just finished the Career and Life Purpose Reading course, and it was absolutely amazing. Thank you so much. And actually, I just wanted to also thank the following people. So Namrata Kedia, as I said, Tracy, Nicole Tinsley, Kat Lucas, Sonia Massea, those of you who took the time to write a few comments about what you loved about the careers and life purpose reading course, thank you so much. And thank you to those who have commented on this course as well. So I noted this morning that Christine Mahia, Melissa Martin, Holly Donath, Virginia Simmons, and Kenny Santos, and everyone else who has made a few positive comments about the course. It means so much to me. Thank you. It inspires me to keep making courses for Udemy. And as I said, it really helps other students who are trying to decide what courses are going to suit them. Angie, it's so cold here. Oh, I'm sorry, my love. I know that's not fun. We have in our Christmas, it's very funny. We have lots of surfing Christmases and we have barbecues. It's so hot here. Checking in from Jersey. I bet it's cold there, definitely. Linda, I'm currently in the Sunshine Coast in Queensland. So that is about an hour and a half north of Brisbane is where I am. Hello, Pook from Singapore. Hello, Matthew from New York City. I love Singapore. One of my favourite things in the whole world in Singapore is to go to the Ritz for brunch. That's probably the best thing I think I've ever done that's so abundant. Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me. Oh, Kristen, you're also from New Jersey. Welcome. So I'm going to get started. And as I said, if you're joining me and it's not live anymore, if you want to just check what the time says. It'll tell you in your own time. But just hashtag replay so I know that you're not asking me this live. And because I'm going to be going on vacation tomorrow, so I might not get back to it for a few days. So I'm going to get started. And if you've got questions along the way, please hold them to the end. Tuning in from India, you made it. It's about 6:30 in the morning there, so well done, pretty. And thank you so much for that beautiful compliment. So I'm going to start first by just something I've noticed. We get this wonderful, beautiful influx of students into Tarot Mastery after Black Friday because Udemy kind of goes right out there. And Udemy doesn't run sales very much anymore. So if you ever see me do a sale, jump on it because Udemy has reduced their sales a lot. But Black Friday is the time where they open up the books again and lots of new students come in. And I've noticed with a lot of new questions that we've been having questions that I go, oh, wow, that's interesting, because a lot of those questions are often covered in my intermediate level courses. So the first thing I'll say is consider Tarot Card Success your foundation beginning level course. Consider it as the big sole objective that you want to get to the end of the course and you want to know what all of the cards mean. You're not expected to do super advanced readings like, is this person going to have a love marriage or an arranged marriage, or, when am I going to get a new job, or things like that. Like, they are questions that take time and practice and often additional studies that I offer in my intermediate level courses. So if you're looking at health questions, for example, Master Health readings and psychic wellness. If you're looking at romance questions, give love readings and psychic romance readings. And if you're looking at career readings, the career and life purpose reading course, because they take you to that more advanced level. This course is primarily designed just for what do I need to know about my career? And what do I need to know about my love life? Like very brief, quick little glimpses. And I suggest in the beginning, especially if you haven't finished the course, to stick to questions for pretend clients, because then you're basically just looking for the patterns in the cards and how they link to questions. So don't worry if you're like, oh my goodness, I went and, I had this person jump on and do a reading with me and they wanted to know all these really complicated questions, and Sal doesn't cover it in this course. So I might, most likely, like 90% chance, cover it in one of the more intermediate level courses. So just say to that person, look, right now I'm a beginner, I'm just doing very basic readings. And for those of you, can I just say, those of you who are taking up offers of people who want to practice in this group, or people who want to exchange readings in this group, or like, just keep in mind that if you're halfway through Tarot Card Success, for example, they might only be halfway through Tarot Success. So if you go to say to them, am I going to have a love marriage or an arranged marriage? Like, that's not taught in this course. So it's highly unlikely they're not going to know how to answer that. So please make sure when you are doing exchange readings or you're taking someone up on their beautiful, generous offer to practice, that you're asking them simple questions, because the majority of the people in here are going to be beginners, and the majority of the people in here are people who are only doing Tarot Card Success at the moment. They haven't moved on to that next higher level. So just keep that in mind, and don't be afraid to say to people, look, I'm not really up to that level yet. Like, that doesn't mean you're never going to be at that level. It doesn't mean you're a bad tarot reader. It just means you're beginning. And, I was thinking before, it's a little bit like, basically going to acting school and on the first day expecting in acting school to be able to pull off a Robert De Niro or a Meryl Streep performance. Like that's not all, like people study that craft for years, and tarot is a craft that you study, and as I said, it has higher levels that you can work through incrementally. Um, Okay, so Amber, can you save that question for the end for me, sweetie, just so that I ask me at the end, so that I can get through the content first and I don't go on a wacky tangent. Hi, Stephanie. Hi, Margaret. Thank you for your beautiful holiday wishes. So, having said that, I will also, like even beyond what is the most advanced that you can study the tarot, there are certain questions that the tarot was never designed to answer. You can put a modern slant on the tarot. There's nothing wrong with that. But keep in mind, it's obviously not something that traditional tarot readers like me would teach, because I tend to teach from my mentors who've been reading tarot for 40, 50 years, and my own experience as a reader for the last 12 years, and my own studies that have gone on for many, many years before that. And so I know someone posted the other day, like, what card in the tarot would indicate Instagram or Facebook? And I'm like, well, there is no card, because the tarot, like modern tarot as it exists, came about in the late 1800s, early 1900s. And so obviously Facebook and Instagram didn't exist back then. So the designers couldn't possibly come up with that concept. You could maybe say, okay, well, the Three of Cups might mean social. But again, keep in mind, don't trip yourself up too much with the tarot. Like, that's not what it's designed for. Like, there are specific oracle cards, and I teach this a lot in the career reading course and the life purpose course. There are specific oracle cards that might point to certain more modern concepts, but generally the tarot sticks with those universal themes, like a Shakespeare play, that we have all been embroiled in for thousands of years. So jealousy, love, the different levels of feeling spiritually bereft, feeling like you have to learn the master lessons of patience and forgiveness, and that's what the tarot deals with. So with that, so as I said, now one of the questions I wanted to deal with is today was, I noticed a few people asking questions about how do I see if the tarot is going to, if someone comes to me and says, is it going to be a love match or an arranged marriage? Now, for those of you who have done my love course, I do speak in the end about cultural sensitivity and understanding that obviously if you are dealing with a global audience, if you're going to be a professional, you're going to get questions like this. And it's going to be very easy to say, well, you want your client to have a love match. We're going to kind of, you might energetically yourself judge any kind of thing that speaks of arranged marriages. And look, I know this myself. My husband is Sri Lankan, those of you who know, and he has cousins that have got arranged marriages. And I'll tell you something interesting. My whole life I thought arranged marriage was something that was I had a lot of judgment and negativity about it, but I've also seen a lot of very broken love matches. And I'm sure, 1 in 3 Western marriages ends in very horrible, messy divorce. So keep in mind that it's important to keep judgment out of your readings with this. Also keep in mind though, there are some limitations about the love match question for me, and I'll tell you why, and this is coming from a healing spiritual perspective. First of all, what if someone has a dream of having a love match? I think most people generally do. I think most little girls don't grow up going, I hope I have an arranged marriage. I've seen Bollywood movies, they're very romantic. I think most people in India, and I could be wrong, would like to have a love match. There would definitely be some that would like an arranged marriage, but generally, if you go to a reader, and especially if you're a beginning reader, and they say, I'm going to have a love match or an arranged marriage, and they really want a love match, like, you could be dashing their dreams and hopes if you go in the negative. And what you've got to remember with the tarot is that our destiny is not always set in stone, and there could be a journey that goes on that is actually so complex that the tarot might only see it in one light, and you as an inexperienced reader won't kind of get those nuances. So a question like that, I would tend, and again, it would depend on how your client feels, because you might get just a blanketly, you might say something like, okay, I'll do a multiple choice, marriage, arranged marriage, love marriage, and you get, you do a highest one wins. That person could then feel like all their hopes and dreams are dashed, and then they might meet someone that they fall in love with and go, well, I'm not going to marry that person because I was meant to have an arranged marriage because that tarot reader told me. And again, so these are my issues that I have with issuing such blank yes or no questions with that. Like, What do I need to know? If somebody like ask your client what it is they want. Like destiny is our lessons on earth are destiny, okay? We are meant to meet certain people on this planet. I explore that a lot in the Remove Psychic Blocks with Past Life Therapy course. Like we are meant to meet certain people, whether they be our long-term lover, husband, whether they be a teacher, whether they be someone who comes into our life for 5 minutes and makes us change our direction. Like definitely I believe that is destiny to meet certain people. I know in my own life there are people that I was meant to meet, no matter how painful that was, or no matter how confusing that was, or how dramatic and high drama that was. I was meant to meet those people. However, if we set it in stone like that, we have nothing to work with. And I'm just, my heart breaks for the idea of a young 21, 22-year-old girl coming and saying, am I going to have a love marriage or an arranged marriage? And she really wants a love marriage, and you tell her arranged. She's got nothing to work with there. So do that thing that I teach in the Love Readings course. Go in and say, what do I need to know about having a love marriage? Because if she wants a love marriage, you're going to teach her how to go after it. Because that's what the tarot can do. It shows you the blind spots of what you're missing, and it shows you how you can fulfill a destiny that makes you happy. So not just a pre-written destiny in stone that you don't have any free will over. Because I do believe that the universe, that the gods, the goddesses, that they've given us free will. And, you know, so, and again, and then you might say, well, Sal, what's the point of even going to a reader? Because a reader is designed to show you what the big picture is and how you can get on track if you're off track. So I just wanted to speak to that. But if I was going to, if you still say, well, if you're still not comfortable saying no to a client about that question, and you don't want to do, what do I need to know about having an arranged marriage, or how will my path unfold? And if you don't want to take those suggestions up, then on a very basic level, I would say I would look at just getting rid of all of the cards except the courts, like a king of, if it's a woman, a king of courts, and a king of cups, and a king of pentacles, and a king of swords. And I would probably go, okay, so the cups would suggest love. Or you actually put the queens in there too, by the way, because they can be gender inspecific. And if you get a cup, then that would suggest love, and then a sword would suggest to me that it's more an intellectual based marriage. But again, I mean, the reason, or the pentacles could suggest a financially convenient marriage. But again, this is where it gets sticky and tricky. Many love matches in the West, for example, people marry for convenience and stability all the time. Like, people don't always marry for love, but it's not necessarily an arranged marriage. Like, they might marry because they've been together a long time and their parents are putting pressure on them. So in a way, that's kind of an arranged marriage, if you know what I mean. So just keep that in mind, that it's not a simple black and white. And I am going to thank you to those who've asked the question. I am going to add lectures on this into my Love Readings course next year, early in the year. I'll add them as additional lectures at the end, because I'm fascinated by this subject and it kind of excited me. It always excites me when I get a question I've never thought of before. So I'm going to add this in. But I do suggest, if you want to do these kind of romance readings that are just beyond a very basic romance reading, then do look at doing that intermediate level course, because I have dozens and dozens of very tricky advanced questions that can help you much more. So Amber saying maybe a 3 of Cups or a 10 of Cups could suggest arranged. Well, you see, yeah, that's interesting, isn't it? Because the 10 of Cups suggests a beautiful family involved. Yeah, it's very tricky. Yeah, and Amber says, that's why I always say tarot is flexible and can change depending on your choices and decisions. I know this is a weird, wacky Hollywood thing to say, but those of you who have seen Twilight and the character of Alice, who she could see the future as long as people were following a trajectory. But if you make a decision to change, and you make a free will decision that you're going to radically change your life, you have an epiphany, then your direction will change, and you have the power to do that. Your lessons you have to learn here on earth in the major arcana. Death might show up in a relationship card because this relationship has to end, but it doesn't mean it might not get back together. I don't know about you, but I've had relationships that have ended and gotten back together. There's been lots of deaths in them. I had a relationship for 3 years where there were many deaths. So I know that, our life is such a complex roller coaster that we can't black and white the questions that simply all the time. Now, you might come back to me and say, Sal, I'm sorry, but I've been to readers and they were able to nail this. That is psychic intuition. That's a different story. That's having clairvoyance with the card. So I teach that a lot in how to be psychic and psychic readings intermediate level, that you get these messages from your guides and angels. That's connecting to higher beings, whether it be the gods, the goddesses, whether it be your spirit guides, your shamanic spirit guides, your angels, whoever it is. You're connecting your higher self, and you're connecting to get answers that are beyond what the tarot offers. So that's a really good thing to do if you want to also deal with those questions as well. So Stephanie, I'll answer that question. Can you answer it again? Thank you, Heather. You've been learning so much from my courses. I've been studying for years, but your course connected everything for me. Thank you. Okay, so I hope that's helped a little bit with understanding. I'm not saying don't do these readings. I'm just saying I would rather put my beautiful client who comes to me and asks that question, I would rather say, well, what is it you want? Do you want an arranged marriage? If you only think of using the tarot as a fortune telling tool, you're going to deny your beautiful clients their beautiful soul journey. I'm going to give you a destiny concept here that might help explain this a bit better. So I had a client, and her up until the stage of when she saw me, like her love life was like this. When she was younger, she got involved in a relationship with someone, and they moved in together, and they were very in love, and he became abusive to her. And drugs were involved, and it was a very awful traumatic situation, and she left. She had that strength to leave, and she and the courage, and it was very hard for her, but she left. And then in that moment of her healing and getting out in the world of being free, she met someone else who ended up becoming her husband. And they got married and had 2 children, and he was such a breath of fresh air and so different to her past, and it was this very happy marriage for a certain amount of time. After a few years, it started going a bit downhill. He started drinking a lot. He was very unsupportive with the children. He didn't want to work anymore, and she had to work full time and take care of the kids full time. And for her, she became depressed and so unhappy, and that she ended up leaving because she was just so depressed, and she wanted to show her children that she wanted to show that actually it wasn't okay to just sit on the veranda and drink all day, and that she wanted them to have a life where their parents were loving each other and not fighting all the time. What happened later was that partner, they broke up, they divorced, they separated, and then he got into a really bad accident. And that sort of drew her back in, because he was incapacitated and needed a caregiver. And so there was a whole lot of stories with that. And then eventually that kind of she realised it really wasn't her job anymore, and he did have very supportive and loving parents and siblings that helped, and so she kind of had to keep her boundaries. And then from then on, she met this amazing guy who she fell in love with, and who fell in love with her, who they were very like-minded, had a very healthy relationship up until when she came to see me. Now, if I told her at 21 years of age that was going to be her destiny, do you think she would, what would she have acted like in that first relationship? What would she have acted like in that second? And yet it took those 2 relationships to get her to the third. Like, her third partner fell in love with her for her strength and her resilience. And I'm not saying in life we all have to suffer to meet our partners, but we do have to overcome spiritual lessons. And so if we just look at fortune telling and say yes, no, we're going to limit the soul journey of our clients and ourselves as well. So we're going to look, so I hope that's helped a little bit for if you're getting a lot of fortune telling questions, how to revamp that. What do I need to know? But as I said, if you want to go specifically, look at the career reading and life purpose reading courses for those when will I get a job kind of fortune telling questions. Look at the romance one for those more romance related questions. So I hope that has helped. I would like to now talk a little bit about reviews. So there's many of you in the group who offer free readings in exchange for reviews, and I just want to talk about how to enhance that experience for yourself, and I want to talk also about the people that are getting readings. Now, this to me, as I said, I've mentioned before, it's not, and when you get tagged and welcomed into the group, it's not the primary function of the group. So if something goes wrong with you and someone who you're meant to give a review to, or, that's actually nothing I can do about that, because I'm happy for you to do it, but I don't want to get involved in a contract between you and someone else. I am happy because I think it's a great idea to get your business out there, but I want to issue just a gentle, cautious warning for those of you who are using the group to get reviews on Facebook. It's difficult to get reviews based on readings for the simple reason that quite often what happens in the future hasn't come to pass yet. So it's hard for someone to, in 7 days give you a 5-star review when you're telling them something's going to happen and it might take a year for that to happen. Also, and this happened in the How to Be Psychic group, we had a really unfortunate situation where I had to get involved and there was a whole lot of drama where, and it was just, again, misunderstanding about what you meant to deliver in exchange for a review. So one member of the group was very unhappy and posted publicly in the group that they were unhappy because they had given a reading in exchange for a review and the person had refused to give that review. And so she was complaining and venting, and a whole lot of people kind of got involved, and I went and looked at all this, sort of heard both sides of the story. On that note, if you have any problems with the group, reach out to me. Please don't post it publicly in the group. But so I looked at both sides of the story, and at first I was like, hey, so I reached out to the lady involved, and I said, hey, you really need to return her review. Like, I don't usually get involved in reviews, but she was so upset, and there was, she said, I spent so much time and effort doing it, and she hasn't even done it. But when I read all the transcripts between the two of them, I realised that this, in the defence of the woman getting read for, that basically the situation was she'd asked 2 questions and the person had come back with a 3-line answer. And it was kind of like, and then got angry when she only offered a 3-star review. Now, and can I just say that to readers? I know this is something strange to hear, but you can't expect a 5-star review from a 2-minute reading that you give someone. Like, if you want a 5-star review, then you need to make sure that your readings have background depth. They have present depth, because obviously the future no one can tell how good your reading is if it hasn't come to pass. So you need to be looking at, okay, what's going on in their current life and what's going on in the past, and focus on that, and then kind of segue into the future. But this reading, for example, didn't do any of that. It just said, yeah, I just feel like you're going to end up together. And then she came back and said, give me a 5-star review. And it was I was like, well, okay, I need to say something in the groups about this, because readers can't expect a 5-star review from a 3-sentence answer. I wouldn't give anyone a 5-star review from that. And also keep in mind, like, if I'm a client and I'm going to look for new healers and readers on Facebook, and I'm looking at business pages and I see someone's got a 5-star review, I'm going to assume that they've had a decent reading, like a really in-depth, at least half an hour, 25-minute reading from that person. I'm not going to assume that was a 2-minute reading. So, you got to make sure that you are honouring also the potential clients. So I just wanted to mention that like, if you are giving readings in exchange for reviews, you need to make them really solid. Like, you need to make sure you're going into some depth and drawing extra cards for present and the past to link to the future. Now, having said that, can I just request to the beautiful people in this group taking up offers for reviews, be prepared that you need to give that person a review. Like, you've agreed to do that. And it's kind of rude and dishonourable to back out and not do it, and you might have to give them a negative review. So my advice is really only try to sign up for ones that are requesting feedback or exchanges, because I think it can lead to a lot of confusion. And also, I would say, that's just my sort of 2 cents on the reviews things and on helping reviews. Now remember, with feedback and exchanges, if someone hasn't returned your feedback or exchange, I have a feedback template. Reach out to Kathy at team@saljade.com, and she will send it to everyone who you're going to give the reading to, the feedback template. You can find it under #PDF, and it's also in your course under how to join the Facebook page in resources. Send it to I see people in here going, I'm going to give 20 readings, and I think to myself, they might not get 20 feedback. And that's just the nature of Facebook groups. So, and I wish it was different, but it's not. So what I would do is I would say, okay, get the feedback template and send it to people. Send it to everyone that you are going to exchange a reading or give a reading for feedback for, because I have noticed a 95% reduction in the amount of people that are not returning feedback when that feedback form is used. Now, if the feedback form is used and they haven't got back to you, reach out to Kathy after 14 days and after you've reminded them, and we will post it in this group. So, and on that not very pleasant note, it doesn't happen very often, but last week I had to remove someone from the How to Be Psychic group because they were taking up lots of offers for feedback and not giving them. And we got up to number 4 people, and they were actually, while they still owed feedback from 2 weeks ago to someone, and that person had reminded them after generously giving them that reading, they were persisting with other people to get a new reading, like fresh new people. and I had to remove them, and I don't do that lightly. It's not something I like to do at all. It's the least favorite thing about my job, but I really had to show the group that, like if you're coming into this group and just using people to answer a question and you're not giving them feedback, then it's not the right group for you. So, there will be that kind of consequence. I hate to use that word like I'm a teacher, but so I will remove people if they have done this to more than 3 people. And as I said, that's why. And if you're having problems, reach out to Kathy at team@saljade.com and let her know if someone hasn't. Wait 14 days first, remind them, send them a reminder, and then reach out to Kathy. So I hope that helps. Amber, I've actually received 3-sentence answers before. Yes, like I said, a 3-sentence answer is not a reading. It's a little bit like you signing up to do my Udemy course and just getting through section 1 and me saying, sorry, the course is over now. Can you give me a 5-star review? So, and I know Udemy does that, and all the instructors don't like it, by the way. Like if Udemy prompts you after 10 minutes of doing it, it drives all the instructors crazy. It's not out, but for some reason Udemy wants to do it. So, but yeah, so, like you're not expected to give someone a review on 5 minutes. Okay, so PBC, my readings go right and I'm able to connect with you're not able to connect you've done your psychic intermediate course and you love my courses. Thank you. Keep practicing those clairvoyance exercises. If you can't connect with the angels, please don't worry, because sometimes it might be that you get the hearing. Sometimes it might be that you start to connect more with the cards. Don't worry if that's not happening. We all have different levels of gifts, and we're not expected to do it all. I often say this. I've got no idea how to read palms. I'm not good at reading auras. Mediumship, like, talking with people that are deceased, is not my biggest strength. Like, I just don't do those things. Focus on what is working for you, and what you'll find the more you relax is the more that information starts to come through, and you might not even recognize that it's coming through from angels. The form was great. Thank you. Awesome. Oh, Amber, I might have to go buy your How to Be Psychic course. Oh, you'll love it. Like, it's a really gentle introduction to how to read angel cards and Ascended Masters cards and oracle cards, but how to connect with your spirit guides and how to connect with archangels and how to connect with, and all the tools, like how to use crystals, how to use chakra clearing, like smudging, like all the stuff you need for that basic level connection. So I hope that's helped. Okay, so now, where am I up to? Okay. Oh, now, before I go, so yes, as I've mentioned, there is a careers course out. If for those of you who want to know what is my life purpose, or your clients are asking that, I've focused specifically on that. I would make sure you know all the cards first before you go away and do that course, by the way. Like, you can sign up now because you've got lifetime access, but I would not do that course without understanding the tarot on a basic level, is what I would say, because I do go quite more advanced with it. Okay. You won't be sorry. It's an absolutely wonderful course. I highly recommend it. Thank you. It was one of those courses where it was meant to be 5 hours long and it turned into 9 hours, because I kept going, oh, everyone wants to know, okay, when am I going to get a job, or should I take this job, or when will my career improve, or when am I going to get my dream job, or what is my dream job? And I had so many questions coming in that it was like, okay, I'm just going to do a video on each of those and do readings on each of those. So it turned into 9 hours. Totally unexpected. Tatiana, you've got it. Yay. So what I would like to talk about now is, I just want to quickly talk about, Amber mentioned in the beginning the Aquarius conjunction that is right now. Incredible time of the last 24 hours and coming up overnight, where Jupiter and Saturn are in conjunction, but it's also a time where we are able to let go of the past. So I do suggest, if you can, sometime in this today period, to take a moment to really think about how you want your 2021 to look. Any goals that have been coming up for you, like take an extra few minutes to you can either light a candle or just send out a prayer to your guides or the universe or gods and goddesses, and just ask for that manifestation. Something I love to talk about this time of year is, I've previously done studies in anthroposophical homeopathy, and within that they teach that even if you don't follow Santa or Christmas, between the 24th of December and New Year's Eve is one of the most powerful times of the year for you to manifest how you want next year to be. So please take some time out. I know that COVID has kind of turned all of our lives upside down, but if you can take 10 minutes to just sit down and imagine, where do I want to be December 2020, 21, on the 23rd, or if you're on the 22nd of December, what do I want my life to look like? Put your iPhone on, spend 3 minutes just visualizing how your life is different. Don't set yourself 500 goals, don't set yourself New Year's resolutions, just visualize yourself doing something different because your life has fundamentally changed. So I talk about this a lot in the Manifesting Abundance for healers and psychics. So like if you're feeling you've got money blocks, that it helps with that, visualizing that future. So please do that. Please go, okay, how do I want my life to be different in the next 12 months? How would I like to be seeing my life as now? And something I mentioned briefly when I recently did a live in the Psychic Healing Hub, it's been such a remarkable year for all of us, and I don't know anyone who has not been affected by COVID. I don't know anyone who has, like, I think 5% of the 10% of the planet has probably not been affected. People have lost people have had their whole lives turned upside down, they've lost jobs, they've not been able to see people they love for so long. We've discovered the value of human touch, like how much we miss people when we can't touch them and how much we love them. My own husband, those of you who are in Australia, or who, if there's any news where you live on Australia, we have just 1 week before Christmas had another outbreak in Sydney, and all the area where I used to live in Sydney, Manly, it's all locked down. People's Christmas plans have changed. They've been stopped at the airport and not allowed to fly to their next destinations. My husband is in Sydney and I'm in Queensland, which is another state, and he's not allowed back in this state. He was always going to be with his family for Christmas, so that's not so bad, but I don't know when he's allowed back in. There's no one that has not been affected. I'm trying to get my mother across the border. She's coming today. She lives in an interstate, and I'm trying to make sure she arrives by today in case they slam the border shut to her state where she is. So, can I just ask you, if you get 5 minutes, 2 minutes, to just send a prayer out to the world. It's been a rough year for many of us. We've learnt many spiritual lessons. We've been hammered on many levels. And giving readings and giving healings, that's such a gift. So please, if you could send a little prayer out to just that 2021, that we find solutions to this incredible once-in-a-lifetime pandemic that has just devastated so many of us, and pray for all of those who have lost their jobs, and pray for those who have lost the people that they love, that don't have someone sitting with them right now that should be there, and sending out our heartfelt wishes to the guides and the angels and the universe, the creator, the gods, the goddesses, that we find a way out of this, and we find a way to more peace in the world right now, and that we find a way for everyone to be healthy again. So that's my Christmas wish. I'm asking Santa for that this year. Yes, and so if you could all do that in your own time, that would be wonderful too as well. So yes, we can. Let's do that now. Linda, let's do a quick brief group meditation, and then I'll answer any questions you've got. So if everyone just close your eyes if you're watching this. Just take a deep breath in through your nose and breathe out through your mouth. Just bring your energy into wherever you are, into your body. Just think about how you're sitting, if you're lying down. Just take a moment to call out to any guides you like to work with. If you work with ascended masters, if you work with gods or goddesses, if you work with Jesus, if you work with angels, if you work with energy or universe, just calling out to that energy now. Just take a moment to drop into your heart. And just visualize, and if you don't visualize, you can actually just say it. Just spreading incredibly beautiful pink unconditional love right out from your body, through the room, right out through your town, your city, right all above, and encircling your country and the entire earth. If there are people that you love right now that are suffering, then sending them unconditional love and asking the guides, the creators, the angels, the gods to send them unconditional love and peace and soothing and consolation in their time of grief, their time of fear and anxiety. if there's anyone who needs healing, send that energy out to them. And if you feel you need that compassion and that kindness for yourself, give yourself compassion and kindness. Honour yourself for what you've been through this year and how you've survived, what you've learned. And just take a moment to give yourself that loving compassion and that loving kindness. Know that you deserve your own love just as much as you love the others around you. Then end your prayer by just sending the best wishes out into the universe for the highest good of humankind, that we find solutions to our current pandemic situation, and that we can all be reunited with those we love. That financial security and instability is ended, and that healing has come to all. And then just say, thank you, it is done, it is done, it is done. So you might want to try just little versions of that. It doesn't have to be as extensive as that, but just visualizing sending light out into the world as well. Sending out love and peace, yes, definitely. Thank you, Linda, for that. That was beautiful. Thank you. So before I sign off, I'm going to answer some questions. And sorry, before I'm going to answer the questions, but I'm also going to let you know I'm going to be going on leave tomorrow. Kathy is also on leave. She's on leave till the 4th of January. I'm on leave till the 29th. So if you could, I don't want to archive this group, because sometimes what happens when I go away on leave is that for some random reason there'll be a fight and people will start fighting each other the one day I'm away. So if you could all please be kind to each other. If someone says something that you don't agree with, just leave it. Because I really don't want, if I can archive the group temporarily, which means because no one's monitoring it, it just gets put on hold, and then when I come back I unarchive it. But I want you guys to be able to exchange readings and share the resources and be a community while I'm away. So if I could just ask everyone please to make sure that you're following the guidelines. If you don't know the guidelines, to go back and read them, and just be kind to everybody as well. If there are serious issues, please reach out to me at sal@saljade.com. I'll be checking my email once every 3 days, and I'll be back on the 29th as well. So if you've got questions, then just leave them for then. Thank you, Tracy. Thank you, Tatiana. Thanks, everyone. That felt amazing. It did, didn't it? Okay, so I'm just going to answer some questions some people have asked. And just if I've missed your question, just pop it back in. Sorry. Okay, PBC, what more can I do for this? Oh, okay, so as I said, with your angels and guides, just keep practicing with, or just answer that. If you could answer for me, did you focus on clairvoyance or clairaudience, or which one did you do in psychic readings intermediate level? If you could pop that in, I can help answer you better. Let's see. Okay, Stephanie, what is your opinion on readers who do sun sign tarot readings on YouTube? Is that, sorry, Stephanie, can you elaborate on that a bit? It's the end of the year. I've just released a 9-hour course. My brain's not functioning in any kind of way that's normal. Do you mean that they're reading by the star sign? Like they're giving you a reading depending on your star sign? If you pop that in, Stephanie, and let me confirm, I can answer better. Amber, I started doing upright cards, but now I'm drawing to reversals. I'm wondering if my deck will adjust to this shift. Absolutely. Oh yeah, your deck is very, it's very intelligent. It'll adjust to whichever direction you want to go. My deck had to adjust to me suddenly throwing, I do this in the careers course. You'll see me do it. Sometimes I don't even mean to do it. My deck suddenly had to adjust to me throwing oracle cards in on it. Like just dealing with it. So yes, it will adjust. I am going to be doing a reversals course on how to read reversals on Udemy. That is the next course I do have planned. It was meant to be January, but this course took so much longer to do and to get approved. So it's looking like it's going to be more like March, April now. So keep your eye out for that. Anyone else? Any other questions that I've missed? No? You want to pop that down there? I'll go back down. You can discover anyone. Okay, so did you do all 4 exercises? Okay, so PBC, did you do, when you did psychic readings intermediate level, when you did you know how there's 4 psychic gifts you can choose from? You can either choose to expand your clairvoyance, your clairaudience, your claircognizance, or your clairsentience. Let me know, and you do it for a week. You do it every day for a week. Which one of those did you focus on? Thank you. Let me know that, and if I can't nut it out with that, it could just simply mean that you might have a huge blockage that you might need to see a spiritual healer. I know that's not the answer you want from someone who you just bought all these courses from, but sometimes, I call that bringing in. Most of us can get things done through the courses I teach, but occasionally it might be you just have a much bigger blockage that an actual healer needs to see. So you need to work with a clairvoyant healer or a spiritual healer who can actually see what that blockage is. But let me know which one of those ones you do, because you might just need to go and do one of the other ones to highlight your gifts. So let me know if you focused on clairvoyance, if you focused on clairsentience, or if you focused on which one of those ones. Anyone got any other questions? Okay, I think that's everything that everyone's asked me to answer. Give me 2 seconds. Oh. No, I've already said that. It's all good. Okay, I'm about to log off PBC, so if you pop that in quickly. So if you're playing the replay, Pretty, what about intuitive readings we have in plenty on YouTube when we choose a pile of crystals or symbol that attracts us and they read the pile for us? Sorry, can you ask, what about... Okay, so that kind of intuitive reading I teach a lot more in How to Be Psychic. That's a lot more looking at the psychic readings. But can you give me a quick example just so I make sure that I'm understanding your question properly? Yeah, that to me is definitely, I think I understand your question. That to me is definitely psychic messages. So psychic messages come from enhancing your clairvoyance, enhancing your clairsentience, which is the feeling, the clairaudience, like the hearing when you hear messages, or you get, or the clairsentience where you feel, you just get that feeling that something's on or off, and that is expanded further when you try to connect with your guides and angels. So, or if you don't believe in angels, if angels aren't your thing, if you look at your gods and goddesses, your ascended masters, non-physical beings, or the universe. So that's how you do that. You learn that process. So both How to Be Psychic and How to Be Psychic Readings Intermediate level teaches you that one. PBC, can you let me know which one of those exercises you did out of that, and I can answer that question better? Or just pop in #replay, because I'm about to jump off. My mummy is arriving in, I think, about 3 hours. She's done the Dukes of Hazzard dash across the border to get here before it closes. And I've got 24 more hours and I'm logging off for the year. Hey, Melissa, that's the second time this year you've made it live. And I'd just like to thank Melissa. Melissa is a very active member of this group. She posts a lot of cute little memes about the tarot. Thank you for that. Well done. You made it at the end of it, but that's all right. You've still got me a bit live. So again, if anyone else has got any questions, is your new career course? Yes, it is. How to give career readings and life purpose readings. Okay. PBC, okay, cool. So yeah, so Tatiana, that's the name of the course. How to give career readings and life purpose readings. If there are no sales on right now, if Udemy aren't doing any sales, go to the end of Tarot Mastery and you'll find a bonus gift or bonus lecture in there that has all the links, and that link is in there. Thank you, Erin. Okay, so PBC, you did clairvoyance. So if you weren't able to connect with the clairvoyance, then go back and do clairaudience. So what I would do is when you've got 7 days that you know you can spend at least maybe half an hour every day, go and try the clairaudience, because it just might mean that your clairvoyant gifts aren't as strong, and that's why you're not seeing. But you might find if you practice that clairaudience again and again, that you might start hearing the messages instead. No, there are great sales now. Great, Tatiana, they're awesome. So just jump on now if you want to get that. Oh, will you ever do past life readings? I used to do them all the time. I used to do them every week. I am having a sabbatical from readings just because my Udemy thing, and I'm so blessed and happy for it. It exploded bigger than I thought it would, and so my time is very limited to being able to do readings. So definitely I know so far for 2021 I won't be doing readings. I do them as part of my competitions though. So whenever, as you know, I did it this year, when I release a new course, I'll do a competition that I'll do a free reading in the course and I'll read for someone. So this year the person that won in this one was Sylvia, which was awesome. I did this reading for her and she got back to me and she said it was really spot on and she loved it. And weirdly enough, at the last minute I decided to include Kyle Gray's Angel and Ancestors oracle cards as part of her readings, and she said to me, she emailed me and said, I love those cards, I use them all the time. And it was like the first time I'd done a live reading with those cards, so that was a really interesting. Yes, Melissa, I'm doing the reversals course in March, I hope. It was meant to be January, but this course, it just went on for, it was just more questions and more lectures became involved in my creative process, so my own fault. And so yes, I'm hoping Easter, if you think Easter, it should be out by Easter, the reversals course. Yes, okay, I hope that's answered everyone. And as I was saying, just for PBC, go back and do that exercise in, what was I thinking? Go back and do the exercise in clairaudience first and see if that helps. Also check the 26 common blocks that I have in that course, Psychic Readings Intermediate Level, and see if any of them might apply to you too. Woohoo! Yeah, so that's going to be my next course, is the reversals one. Happy holidays to you too, Tatiana. If anyone's got any questions, I've got like 1 more minute left before I log off and go and open my windows because it's about 40 degrees here, which in the US is about 125. And as I said, if you're joining me and you're not live, put hashtag replay. I'm away for the next 6 days after tomorrow. I'm here tomorrow and then I'm away for 6 days and then I'll be back on the 29th. Okay. Oh, Tatiana, you got the course. Awesome. Well done. I hope you love it. It's been getting a lot of positive feedback, so it has been well worth the extra month it took me to film it that I thought wouldn't take that long. Thank you everyone so much for coming, and I really hope you all have some beautiful time with your holidays. As I mentioned before, try to do that anthroposophical homeopathy thing I like to do every year between Christmas Eve and New Year's Eve, where you just manifest how you want your life to look a year from now. Try to do that. It's a very powerful time for you. And I will see you all in the new year. See if anyone else has asked me any questions. Thank you, Melissa. And as I said, so I'll be away for the next 5 days. If the wonderful Rue will be popping into the group to make sure everything's okay. But if there is a serious emergency, email me on sal@saljade.com. Kathy's away for 2 weeks, so you can email her, but she won't get it until she gets back. Happy merry holidays to everybody. I hope you get some time with some loved ones, and I hope you have a phenomenal new year and are able to start putting into place manifesting the 2021 that you all want. Thank you so much for joining me. Thank you.